What's up guys, my name is Dean, aka the Blue Crusader, and welcome back to the channel. Minecraft has a huge diverse list of mods out there that we can play, all in different categories. I have a lot of videos for each category of Minecraft mods for the Java edition, but I haven't showcased any of the Bedrock mods and content out there yet. But although you can't download the same mods for the other versions of the game, you can download special mods such as add-ons for Bedrock and PE versions of Minecraft. Today I thought I'd give a little love to you Minecraft Bedrock players out there who play the Windows 10 version or Bedrock. Bedrock is a blanket term which covers a few different versions of Minecraft that's not related to the Java edition. These mods and add-ons are mainly for the Windows edition of the game. So if you play Minecraft Bedrock and you're looking for add-on packs or mods, then you're in luck today, because in this video I'll be talking about the top 10 Minecraft Bedrock add-ons. These are like Java mods and bring brand new content to the game, such as mobs from different genres and periods. However, in the add-ons, unlike the Java mods, most of these additions are actually replacements to the existing mobs or content in the game, rather than adding them in as additions. But the add-ons are still pretty nice, and it makes the game a little bit more interesting than the default Windows 10 edition. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Number 10, Alien Invasion. This one is the first add-on I tried out for the Bedrock edition. That's because it was one of the first released to just showcase the power of add-ons to begin with. This is because it's actually by Mojang, who used it at E3 as a demo for their add-on technology when they added the add-on system to the game. It's an awesome action-packed system added to the game where you're dropped into a city which is under attack from outer space, and at night time, aliens attack. For those of us who see Minecraft in more of a medieval light, well, no longer, because this brings the space age straight to you. You basically have to dot around the city looting chests to find powerful weapons like enchanted swords or bows inside in order to fight off the alien invaders. They have really amazing skins, and the aliens are reskinned skeletons and iron golems, but they're now much faster and they have different AI behavior. This is because the mod actually comes with a behavior pack and a resource pack, so it changes the looks of the mobs and how they behave, making them far more dangerous than a horde of zombies. When they jump from their UFOs, they also don't take fall damage, so you'll have to get ready for a big fight. This is also a really nice map to play with your friends if you choose to drop in it in multiplayer mode too. You just have to eliminate the aliens and shoot down the flying saucers. It has kind of a modern and futuristic feel at the same time, and it made me think of Futurama. Mobs usually spawn at night time in this add-on, so it might be a little bit confusing when you first jump in and don't see any enemies. But you can also give the villagers, which you can find scattered around the city, bows, and it actually lets them fight back against the aliens themselves, because they'll be attacked by them too. If you go under the huge alien motherships, you can actually trigger TNT by using levers when you attach them to the gold blocks, and this actually lets you shoot down and blow up the spaceships. It's actually really well made. Number 9, Amazing Mobs. If you're looking for a little change in terms of wildlife and want some brand new mobs running around, then look no further. This add-on replaces 11 of the mobs already in Minecraft in exchange for some pretty cool mythological creatures that look awesome, cool, or terrifying. There are some really awesome combos of mobs too, and it just makes Minecraft just that little bit better when you get bored of the mobs running around already. If you want some cool things like dragons or beasts from Tales, then you should check this one out. The great thing I personally like though is that you can actually tame and keep most of these as your pet too, so you'll be riding in style with some of the coolest pets that you can even ride in some occasions. There's the Manticore, which is a dark lion with a scorpion's tail that replaces both the cow and mushroom. This is a hostile mob that's poisonous, but you can use raw meat on the baby ones to tame it and feed it up to full size, and then use it to mount up and ride on. The Titanus may also remind you a little of a dodo. It replaces the chickens, and it's a prehistoric looking bird. If you're a fan of Game of Thrones, you might also like the new giant wolves that replace the normal wolves, which remind me of dire wolves from Game of Thrones. These big guys are hostile as the adult versions, but you can also tame the baby wolves, which have pretty big heads. Now for the scorpions. These come in two types: the black scorpion, which replaces cave spiders and is highly venomous to the player, and the green one that replaces the standard spider and is slightly more neutral and passive to the player. This is the one that can be tamed. The Medusa replaces the Enderman. Just like you shouldn't directly look at an Enderman, don't look into into her eyes. Trust me. Bats are replaced by little dragons now which throw fire at you, and wyverns are basically normal dragons that replace the bats too, so when you use a bat spawn egg, you'll either get a small baby dragon or a giant wyvern. Ents are really cool tree people that replace the creepers and are the guardians of nature. They attack anything in the forest that's hostile, so be it zombies, skeletons, creepers or anything bad. For replacing the horses, you have the unicorns, which are basically just horses with horns, but they have some pretty cool colours to go along with it too. If you use a mob spawner egg and spawn them a couple of times, you'll cycle through a few different colour variants of them. As a replacement for the wither skeletons, you now will have Zeus, the god of thunder and sky in Greek mythology. He'll initially be friendly and he has up to 100 hearts, but he will easily strike you down if you push him to do so. He's actually really overpowered, and when he actually goes against mobs that he's hostile towards, he will shoot down a hail of thunder from the sky. The Stray is also now instead the Minotaur, which is a bull-headed monster from Greek fantasy stories who has a huge axe, and he can hit up to 22 damage and he doesn't get knocked back. He'll basically attack anything, which includes you, and he'll drop a whole lot of beef and leather. Lastly, I'll cover the Wizard, which replaces the Witches. Now this one didn't work when I actually tested out the mod, but depending on the version you download, then it might work for you. I never really liked Minecraft Witches. They're annoying, they make stupid sounds and they look pretty dumb. But I love these Gandalf looking magic ones who can still be aggressive to the player, so you have to be careful. He can shrink and run away and fire bullets, dragon balls or fireballs and more, and if he's hurt he will drink health potions just like a witch. Number 8. Mutant Creatures. This is another creature replacer and it's a little bit more sinister. It will exchange some of your mobs, which are mainly the hostile ones, with brand new mutated forms. This includes huge giant zombies or faster, stronger spiders. This is basically the recipe for having nightmares or being afraid of the dark in your Minecraft world. It makes the zombies and husks into huge hulking monsters that have different attack phases. Creepers are now huge, spiny constructs that look like they're from a horror movie and have more impact when they go boom. Strays and skeletons are also mutated, making them more skillful archers, and they can also now shoot fire arrows too. I thought skeletons in normal Minecraft had aimbots already, so I don't really like this one. Wither skeletons are now beefy too, and they're pretty huge. If you find a fortress, run from these guys. They now have these huge giant claymore swords and they're buffed up to 130 health. The zombie pigmen are no better. If you anger them, just like in the normal game, they will also summon their friends too, and they look absolutely huge. The mutated wolves are more thick, but you can also ride them now when tamed, so it makes them a little bit better than they were before. I think the scariest thing though in this add-on is the drowned. Now imagine seeing those huge Hulk zombies but underwater too. It definitely makes sense that these dudes could hold a heavy trident now because they're just absolutely huge. They also still swim super fast too, as if their new muscles somehow make them into a mermaid. It's already pretty tough to explore ocean monuments and swim underwater when there's a lot of drowned there, so using this add-on will make things just a little bit harder. Number 7. Village Guards. The Village and Pillage update was a great one, and it brought us the Illagers and the Village Invasions and a whole bunch more that was pretty exciting. But don't you sometimes wish that they could do something more? Maybe they could defend the Illager raid themselves, or at least help instead of getting you to do everything. Sure, they trade and you can steal their crops, but they're not very helpful other than just trading with them. Well, this add-on lets them be more than just traders. It makes them more responsible by letting them defend themselves and be a little bit more self-sufficient. They don't only need an iron golem now to protect themselves, they can actually fight their own fights too. This add-on spawns a new Villager Guards variant that's dressed in iron and chainmail, and they can use bows or swords. They will patrol the village looking for enemies or monsters and chase them down where possible, and at night time they're an absolute godsend in terms of killing zombies or skeletons. And the cool thing is that you can actually train any villager to become guards too. You just hold an iron helmet and right click on them. Only the iron sword and bow are supported, but you can actually use the other weapon on them to swap their weapon depending on what they already have equipped. You could also use name tags too to give your guards individual names to make stuff a little bit more interesting, and if you give them a glass bottle they can become a healer too, who will restore your health. When they're given blaze rods they can turn into mages or wizards, and they can throw fireballs at the enemies. This add-on uses the wither skeletons, which they replace as the guards. They do naturally spawn in the villages, and to make sure you can actually still play Minecraft as a game, the wither skeleton heads, which are usually dropped by the wither skeletons in the nether, will now spawn randomly in the nether bridge chests. This is so you don't really need them anymore to spawn and you can still play the game as normal. Number 6, Villagers Come Alive. Since we're already on the subject, here's another Villager Overhaul add-on for you. Villagers are great, but along with the Guards add-on, there's the Villagers Come Alive one. This little mod reskins the villagers to make them more unique and gives them some better characteristics and behaviour. They can be in relationships with others and have baby villagers, or you could pay them with gold to hire them as your personal bodyguards, and you can fire them too. It adds more RPG style traits to the villagers and their people, and generally makes them more interesting and believable. No longer do your villagers all now look like Squidward. The female villagers replace the normal ones, whilst the male villagers replace zombie villagers, and they're a little bit taller, being the only gender that you can hire as guards. The villager spawn egg now can spawn both types. They can breed by using cake on them, which also lets them follow you. You can give your hired villagers either bows or iron swords to upgrade them into bodyguards, just how, like the last add-on that we featured on the list, works. This is why I placed this mod just that little bit higher than the villager guards one, because it just does the same but a lot more. Number 5, Superheroes mod. This one brings the whole world of superheroes to you, mainly adding popular equipment and suits from the Marvel superheroes and MCU universe, and as well as the comics. You'll see some familiar faces here, as you can be characters like Ant-Man, Spider-Man, the DCU Flash, Clark Kent and Superman, Shazam, Nebula from Guardians of the Galaxy, Deadpool, Iron Man, War Machine and more. You also have access to some pretty cool weapons and kit. For an example, you could use Captain America's shield or Thor's hammer Mjolnir, or even his brand new axe Stormbreaker. There's also Hawkeye's bow and a few guns and cool stuff to use here. This one is actually a mod for the Minecraft PE edition, not the Minecraft Windows 10 edition, so keep this in mind if you want to test this one out. Number 4, Toy Soldiers. This add-on brings a collection of toys to the game that you can spawn and use. There are 4 different factions of toy soldiers, each are colour coded accordingly, and there's also 3 different mounts that they can use and a whole bunch more. The red toy soldier replaces cows, the green one replaces pigs, the blue one replaces mushrooms, and the yellow one replaces creepers. The mounts are animals that the toy soldiers can ride on themselves, which have different speeds or movement abilities. The horse replaces llamas. The Pegasus, which is a flying horse, replaces the chickens, and the spider mount replaces normal spider mobs. You can pit the toys against each other to fight, and you can turn normal toy soldiers into assassins by giving them sugar, or spearmen by giving them an arrow, a mage by giving them a blaze rod, and a healer by throwing them a bone. The point system lets you move your toy soldiers in different positions by using a gold piece, bat spawn egg, or normal egg to move them to different positions if you make them in an arena. Number 3, water breathing. Have you ever found an ocean monument or a stronghold entrance underwater and always ran out of air, having to come to the surface to gasp for breath? Well, I have, and it can be frustrating when you're trying to explore the ocean in the game. This mod fixes that by adding a very simple mechanic to the game in order to just let you breathe underwater like you're a fish or merman. There are ways in normal Minecraft to breathe underwater, but this just makes it a feature of the game straight away without having to do anything else. You can now breathe underwater and explore the depths of the ocean floor and the sea without losing health or oxygen. It's a simple change and there's not too much to say about it, but it's a useful addition and it makes it a little bit more fun and free. Number 2, Ender Horse. The zombie horse is now upgraded into a legendary Ender Horse of horrors that you can ride across the land, spooking anyone who lays eyes upon you. These horses have the power of Endermen, so they can even teleport, making them harder to get, which is done at random. Ender Horses which are tamed don't actually teleport though, so you won't have to worry about riding them and teleporting under the sea if you've already put a saddle on them. Once you mount the Ender Horses, they will actually automatically start to become tamed, and you'll see a few different hearts above the head, just like what you do with other animals, to indicate this is happening. This also means though that if you beat the challenge of cornering one of them and mounting up on them, you could be in for a surprise, meaning you could be teleported into the sky or to the bottom of the seabed where you can safely spend your last moments. So what you need to do is basically put a leather saddle on them as soon as they get tamed so they don't teleport you somewhere random. Number 1, Mega Mech. So this one had to take the number 1 spot because it's just plain awesome. It brings in a huge giant mechanical robot into the game that you can control yourself. You control the movement of it, but it automatically controls the fire modes and abilities itself. It's basically just a mob with a mind of its own, but you control it. It takes heavy inspiration from Japanese material and comics, and mainly Pacific Rim, which is a sci-fi movie which I'm sure lots of you have seen, where where humans pilot huge robots called Jaegers versus alien monsters called the Kaiju. Not only can the player control this thing themselves, but the robot itself fights its own battles against hostile enemies, which is really cool. This is just a huge robot that replaces the Iron Golem. You spawn it with 4 iron blocks in a cross with a pumpkin on its top. This mech is far greater in size than any other Minecraft mob basically, and the comparison to Steve is pretty insane. It has 500 health points, it can store 27 item stacks in its inventory, it does 20 to 30 attack damage, and it can shoot fireballs from a distance. It also has knockback resistance, fire immunity, and it can be ridden, and it jumps super high, which I'm sure you can see in the background. You just right click on it to ride it and you can get fighting. There's optional resource packs that let you recolor the robot to red and green, green and purple, tan and blue, or blue and red variants if you want to switch up the style. Personally, I chose the blue one, but you can choose from whichever one that you want to. I'd say fighting the Wither or Ender Dragon with this thing would be a breeze, so maybe I'll set you that challenge to do because it's something which I haven't actually tried out myself personally. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. If you disagree with the top 10 Bedrock add-ons and mods in this video and you think I missed a better Minecraft Bedrock add-on or mod for Windows 10, then definitely let me know about them in the comment section below so I can feature them next time, because I personally don't play Bedrock Edition, so it was interesting to do the research to find these awesome mods to test out and share. If you want to see more top 10 Minecraft videos like this one and daily gamer videos like GTA 5 and more, subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you don't miss out on daily uploads. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.